Hey, this is Attorney Holmes. It is March 23rd, a Monday. We are still in the midst of this COVID-19 coronavirus lockdown, mandatory shutdown in our state. So I'm coming to you from our COVID bunker here, my kids' basement playroom. And a lot of clients have had questions about what are they going to do about their commercial lease. We have many clients in the fitness industry. We have a lot of retail clients, restaurants, cafes. At least where we are now in Pennsylvania, the vast majority of those businesses have been ordered to close, and we don't know for how long they've been ordered to close, like how long that order will last. So in the meantime, unfortunately, these are brick and mortar businesses that have commercial leases. We have negotiated many commercial leases for these clients, and we know that in Pennsylvania, commercial leases tend to have many items not favorable to commercial tenants, such as personal guarantees, confession of judgment clauses, things like that. So if these small business owners are unable to start paying rent, there's going to be some pretty devastating economic and potentially personal consequences to that. So what a lot of people have asked right now is, how can I negotiate with my landlord if I have trouble paying my rent, because obviously my business is closed and potentially there's no revenue coming in. So one thing we suggest is immediately call your accountant or start running your financial reports and do a cash flow projection. So let's say that this mandatory shutdown lasts 6 weeks. Do a cash flow projection. I would suggest doing several cash flow projections. One is through the end of April, okay? See what your cash situation looks like. What access do you have to resources? Do you have a line of credit to your business? Do you have accounts receivable outstanding? Can you tap into a bank loan that maybe you were approved for in the past? What do you have access to? Okay, do a projection through the end of April. Then do another one through the end of May, assuming that things are still going to be shut down or greatly slowed by then. All right, now at least we have 2 months in front of us to figure out what your cash flow is and what access to resources you have. Don't forget there's other bills due during this time. So if you have other existing business loans, if you have business credit cards, obviously your own personal self, you probably pay through a payroll or salary. Figure out what all those expenses are, and now we're going to go through and see which ones we can negotiate with creditors on. So once you have a good handle on those numbers, you should be able to see, okay, maybe I can pay rent in April, but I'm not going to be able to pay my rent in May. So now you want to go to your landlord and start negotiating. Landlords across the country are going to be in the same boat. Unfortunately, these are also people that likely have mortgages to pay on those properties. Perhaps their banks aren't going to want to negotiate with them for delayed mortgage payments. So you got to get as creative as you can with this. Start thinking about, can I pay anything for the months that I think I'm going to miss rent? Can I ask them to tack an extra 2 months on to the end of my lease, such that I will pay these 2 months, but I'm not going to pay it now. I'm just going to pay it at the end of my lease to stay in for an extra 2 months. Figure out, what else you can be doing to generate money. Can you keep working at home? Can you start a newer product or service that you're offering to people just to keep some revenue coming in? Right now, I would definitely start applying for any kind of funding that you might even be remotely qualified for. And we're going to talk about funding and SBA loans in another video, but think about whatever resources you have access to that are not going to bankrupt your business and not going to bankrupt you yourself. And then with that in hand and that knowledge, you can reasonably and in an informed way now go to your landlord and ask for several different ways to maybe mitigate the effects of this rent over the next month or two. Perhaps for some people, their business is going to be very slow to come back once everything comes back open again. And so they might have a couple months where there's going to be shortfalls. So perhaps you can also negotiate maybe some type of diminished rent for another couple months with your landlord. Again, not all landlords are going to be super amenable to this, but if the consequences of default and an empty space, and given the current situation, we predict that commercial real estate is likely going to be hurting pretty badly in a couple of months. So If you can negotiate these things now, we would certainly recommend that you do so. If you need any help negotiating with your commercial landlord, please feel free to reach out to our office. We are offering a number of discounted phone consultations while this continues to go on. Our mission right now is to just keep as many people in business as we can and make sure that at the end of all this, people actually have businesses to continue running. Okay, and again, there'll be a link in our YouTube, Facebook, and blog as to how to get a hold of us and potentially schedule a consultation to help you. Thanks.